I'll tell you what impacts each child. When each child sees that you love them as they are right now, they breathe. They breathe. See, when a child lives in a house and wonders if his own parents even really want him there, they can't breathe. You know what pressure that is, to know that you're an unwanted guest in somebody's home and you have nowhere to go? When they see that you're loving and you're relaxed and you're having a good time with their siblings, then they breathe also, because they know that you feel that way about your children. Enjoy your children. Enjoy them. Let them come back to living. Let them come back to life. If you believe Torah is so true, and I do too, I also believe Torah is true, then believe that when your children are fully healthy, functioning adults, they will come to the truth. But they have to become fully healthy and functioning. Let's, okay. Similarly, the Rambam talks about giving kids treats to get them to do good until they can do it lishma. Okay, similarly to what? There was a follow-up, I guess, on another question. Okay. Oh, you're saying similar to what I'm saying, that you be nice to them in order to I'm not sure. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to move on. I'm not a big fan of bribery. I don't like threats, and I don't like bribery. In some ways, I don't like bribery even worse than I don't like threats. It's all conditions. But whatever, we can get into that. We can have that discussion another time, whether children need bribery. I know the Rambam. Okay. Anyways, let's. Is it possible to get the recording? Yes, we will have a recording. Okay. Can you please speak about kids off the derech dating non-Jews? Oy. Okay. Okay, let's talk about it. You know, there was a time when it was much easier to stop an intermarriage, because basically what it was, the person didn't understand how bad it was, or they forgot how bad it was, and you had to do something to get through to them. You know, so the rabbis would take the young man, open up the Aron, and say, take the Sefer Torah and throw it on the floor. Because if you marry that non-Jew, that's what you're doing. You're throwing the Sefer Torah on the... I know Rabbanim back in the 50s, the 60s, even the 70s, that stuff used to work. Because what was lacking is a person had a chsaron in Yediyah. They didn't understand, or they didn't properly understand. But you had to get through to them so they would understand. But our kids, when they come to that point where they don't even care whether they date a Jew or marry a Jew, it's not a lack of knowledge. It's that they're in such pain. They just want distraction. They just want relief. Why shouldn't I have some relief? Why shouldn't I have something that makes me feel good? So as hard as this is to say, when a child is involved in a relationship with a non-Jew, that is a child who needs twice as much love and support, 100 times as much love and support. And we believe that if we can give them that love, parental love, don't make them get it from somewhere else. If we can genuinely give them that parental love, and again, unconditionally. So that doesn't mean I'm loving you so that you will break up with that non-Jew. No. I know this is very difficult to do, but to put yourself into the position where you can actually say to yourself sincerely, I'm loving you so much, I couldn't love you any more or any less. And it has nothing to do with who you date, who you marry. That can't affect it. I couldn't love you more if you marry Jewish. Couldn't love you less if you marry non-Jewish, God forbid. I know it's a gargantuan task. Gargantuan task. But if you can do it, then that is the best possible path that a child will have to making a choice that's healthier for their neshama. So yeah, there are parents who have done the real mesiras nefesh of doing what, someone mentioned the Chabad house, a shliach. You have the intermarried person to your house, and you be nice to the non-Jewish spouse, right? Because it's not their fault. They're not bad. They're innocent. They got dragged into this unawares, right? And you're friendly and you schmooze. You say, well, they don't know any better. So this is even more so. Your child does know better, and they're still doing it. Why are they doing it? I promise you, it's not from a place of emotional strength. And I know I'm going to get hell for saying that too, because there are people who are going to feel offended, and they're going to say, well, I left Yiddishkeit and I married a non-Jew, and it has nothing to do with a lack of emotional strength. And I would ask those people, would you say that the environment you grew up in, your family and your community, was nurturing or not? That's all I would ask. That's all I would ask. Okay. Anyways, let me just continue. I want to try to knock off all these questions. How can parents practically work on getting this perspective? How can the teachers and principals receive this blessed perspective? Thank you for calling it blessed. Appreciate that. How can parents get this? This is Yiddishkeit. I want to tell you something. This isn't a special sugya for Nebuch, people whose kids went OTD. No, this is the real Yiddishkeit. It's just most people have the luxury of never doing it. The real Yiddishkeit is Yisrael Reis v'Kutshibrichu Kol Echad. The Yidden Torah and Eibishter are one thing. The real Yiddishkeit is the preciousness of Yidden, and that Avos Hashem, Avos Torah, and Avos Yisrael are one Ava. That's the real Yiddishkeit. Most people have the luxury of not being forced into a situation to come to such a level of Avos Yisrael. But people who are going through this parsha, so they are put into that position where ultimately, to have the proper Avos Hashem and Avos Torah, they have to have unhuman levels of Avos Yisrael. But you can accomplish unhuman levels of Avos Yisrael because it's coming from the neshama, and the neshama is infinite. So that's how we get the perspective. I mean, this is Yiddishkeit, and this is in everything in Torah, everywhere you look in Torah. Now, you'll see what you want to see. If you want to see threats and punishment, then that's what you'll see. But if you want to see love, that's what you'll see. I hope that you'll look for the love, for the benefit, for the benefit of all of us. The benefit of all of us. Okay, I'm going to continue quickly. We need training hands-on. Okay. I don't know what to say, First of all, I don't go around giving references to people, because whatever that implies a certain level of responsibility. But I will mention that there's a Shabbaton called Kesher Nafshi, which I think now they do twice a year. I've been there in the past. It's only a weekend, okay, but you want hands-on training? Go to the Kesher Nafshi Shabbaton. There you go. That's a hands-on training. Okay. At the same time, I'm more looking at myself rather than my children and to refine myself. Good. Okay. I agree with that. Okay. Should you stress this to a child that is not having issues, or is it better that they feel you want them to succeed and that you will make that, and that will make you proud? Ooh, that is great. I like that question. So I want to tell you something. You want to hear from me what I say? I say that if this stuff is true, then it's true for all of us. That's what I say. I know some people will say that this is like Shah special dispensation when the kid needs the emergency treatment. But I say no. If this really is real Yiddishkeit, like I was just saying it was, then it applies to all of us. And all of us need love and acceptance. And here's the thing. We're so used to thinking that excellence can only emerge from pain and strife that we assume that if you won't have pain and strife, you won't be excellent. And that's so silly. That's such a silly concept. And I've heard people argue this, and they talk about Tiger Mom, which I've heard some people say, you got to be a Tiger Mom. Tiger Mom is not a Jewish thing, right? Believe in the neshama. Believe in the Ma'aseh Yadai Lehispoil. That every Jew is the handiwork of Hashem that he is proud of. When you can be proud of every Jew, they will rise to the occasion. They will rise to the occasion. They don't need pushing. I believe this applies to all of us. I want to be treated this way. I want to treat you this way. I want our teachers to treat all of our students this way. I don't think it can go wrong with love and pride and acceptance and kiruv. I think it brings out the best in all of us. And if you think that, well, if no one's being mean to me and harassing me, why would I even try? That itself is the voice of trauma. That itself is the voice of trauma. The only reason anyone would try is because they're being, because love is being withheld. Sorry, it's not compelling to me. Okay. But with the attitude of just love and not much kavura, that's how we lose touch. And the children will do less and less. And so no more Jews. No more Jews. Like, what? Are we no more Jews? Like, are we no more Jewish people? Okay. So you can harass everybody, and eventually there'll be a minion of Mitzayonim, and that'll be the Jewish people. Right? You can try that. All I can say is like this. The people who are writing this are saying, you have to be harsh. You have to be gvudidik. I'm just praying that these are people who came on stam out of curiosity and not that they have children in this parsha. Because I can tell you that if this is the way you're thinking, your child feels it, and your child wants to die. Because any human being who knows that the people who made you, that the parents who made you, look down on you, that feeling is so deeply, deeply painful to the core that a person who feels that doesn't even want to exist. Maybe they'll save their lives and not want to die by deciding that they hate you instead of hating themselves. And that's how some of these children save their lives. They decide to hate their parents instead of hating themselves. I don't want that for you either, though. I don't want your child to hate himself, and I don't want your child to hate you. Let me have 11 questions of you. What do you do about a child who has tattoos and isn't always careful about hiding them? Why should they hide them? They have them. I don't know. Okay. He hasn't worn shorts in the neighborhood since he got his first one, but he wears short sleeves. The one on his arm is visible. Ay. I'll tell you, the thing about tattoos is that, if a person is Mechal Shabbos, you don't see that on Tuesday. If a person ate treif after he gets up from the restaurant and turns the corner, you don't see where he was eating. A person who gets tattoos, it's a lav. I mean, like other lavin, but unfortunately, it's one of these things that just you see it on the person all the time. So because of that, there's a certain emotional, understandably, a certain emotional reaction to it. But here's what I want to tell you. If your child wants to hide it, let him hide it. Maybe he regrets it, okay? But you shouldn't think that you're telling him to hide it. You shouldn't think that you need him to hide it. And in fact, if your child wears shorts and has tattoos and visits you, I think the greatest thing you can do for their Yiddishkeit, go take a walk around the block, go spazier on Shabbos with your son with the shorts and the tattoos, and don't tell him to put on a yarmulke. Now, if he wants to put on one, you don't have to tell him to take it off. Obviously, we're not against mitzvahs, but you go take a walk around the block with him on Shabbos and just enjoy his time. Just enjoy his time. I'm telling you, it's the greatest thing that you can do for him. If you really care about his neshama, I'm saying, it's the greatest thing. Give him 15 minutes of parental love. Walk around the block together with a parent. And I promise you something, you don't have to say this. In fact, don't say it. But he'll know that when you walk around the block with him, you listen to me right now, okay? When you walk around the block with your child with the shorts and the tattoos, all the bad feelings that he has, every time that one of the neighbors looked down at him, since he was a kid, since he didn't fit in, and they looked down at him, every disapproving look that a mechanech gave or that a neighbor gave, any disapproving look that anyone ever gave that made him feel less than, you go walk around the block with him on Shabbos when looking the way he's looking right now, and at least for those 15 minutes, that will all go away. And he will feel as perfect and loved as his neshama. If you want to give that for your child. If you want to give that to your child. Otherwise, okay, I'm not here to threaten you. But your child will find people who are proud to walk around the block with him in his shorts and his tattoos. Why can't his mother and father walk around proudly with him on Shabbos? When you do that, that is the most powerful medicine. You can hire 1,000 professionals. They cannot provide that level of healing. Why would you not give the medicine to your child that you're the only one who has it? How about respect for house rules? There are other children in the home. Yeah. You know what? I believe in house standards, not house rules. This maybe is controversial, but if my children respect me and my house, they'll act accordingly. And by being a tyrant and demanding adherence, I'm not gaining anything. You know, cops go around pulling people over for speeding. You know what that teaches them? Slow down when you see a cop. It doesn't make people not speed. So if I catch you not being tznius, I'll make you go change. Right? It doesn't make you tzniistic. In fact, if I make you go change, then when you're not where I can see you, you know, the minute you go to Eretz Yisrael, you know, the shorts come out. I mean, the ma'asim b'chol yeh. Look, you want your children to live according to house rules, you want your children to live according to your standards, then make your child feel like part of the family. Let them know this is their tribe. When they identify with you, they will identify with your values. I promise you. When they identify with you, they will identify with your values. The problem isn't getting them to follow your values. The problem is getting them to identify with you. If they identify with you, automatically they will follow your values. They know what your values are. They know what your values are. And by the way, let me ask you a question. If you have a kid who's frum and he's not Mechal Shabbos, is he not Mechal Shabbos because that's a house rule? Tell me that. He's not Mechal Shabbos because it's a house rule? Or because he doesn't want to be Mechal Shabbos? Because that's a sensitivity that he has. So you know when your children who are keeping the mitzvahs that they're keeping, it's not because it was a house rule, it's because they internalized that value. Okay, so do the same thing with the child who's not yet keeping that mitzvah. Allow them to internalize it as a value. House rules. What are house rules? You know what? I only know one house rule. The klal gadol b'Torah. The biggest rule in Torah, the rule for all other mitzvahs, v'ahavta l'reacha kamecha. The klal gadol b'Torah. That's our only klal. That's our rule. That's our rule. You want to have a house rule? Our rule is be like the Baal Shem Tov's parents. That when Eliyahu Navi came and acted like a Mechal Shabbos, and it was boisterous, and he drew attention to himself, he tried to get himself thrown out. And the Baal Shem Tov's father, Rebbe Lezer, he wouldn't throw out the guy, right? He wouldn't throw him out. And the guests were looking down at him, and Rebbe Lezer went to the other room, and he was crying because he felt so bad for this guest, and he was mekad of that guest. And then afterwards, he says, I'm Eliyahu Navi, and now you're going to have a son, the Baal Shem Tov. You want to have a son, the Baal Shem Tov? So you have to be mekad of every year. Now we're going to take it to the next level. You want to have a son, the Baal Shem Tov, you have to be mekad of your son when your son is that yid that Eliyahu Navi was pretending to be. Can you mention the 5 types of love? I know gifts, words. Can you explain all 5 types? Thank you. Okay, so I think you're talking about like 5 love languages. It's funny, people assume that I know all these secular things. I really don't. But yeah, I've heard of this 5 love languages. I don't know. I never read the book, and I don't know what the 5 love languages are, but just listen. It's pashut. It's pashut. You want to make somebody feel good about you. You want to, relax them. You want to make them feel appreciated. So there's like different ways of doing that. Some people like to talk. Some people don't like to talk. Some people like to just sit in your presence quietly. Other people like to go out and do things together. Spending time together. Other people, you get them a gift. Oh, I was out at the store and I saw some paprika and I knew that you needed paprika and I bought you the paprika. Right? Some people, physical touch, huge thing. Do you hug your kids? 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 I'm asking you a simple question. Do you hug your kids? Your kid who isn't frum right now. When's the last time you hugged him? Well, he doesn't want to hug. No, not from you. Because the relationship turned toxic. But show him it's safe. Show him you're a safe person. Show him you're a trustworthy person so that he can actually experience the hug from you. And that hug is more healing than anything. Okay, let's keep going. I want to finish off. How do we deal with teenagers who are slacking off from school and are just lazy? If you forgive me, I think I'm just going to skip that because, if they're just lazy, they're just lazy. All right. But so that's outside of the scope here. I think a lot of kids who have deeper problems are accused of being lazy. But anyways, okay. Meeting your non-Jewish boyfriend and girlfriend. I think we spoke about that. Okay. Is reminding a child older than 30 to make a bracha okay? Because after all, they'll be getting married soon. And you certainly want them to do this basic too. Oh, I'm sorry for laughing. That's not right. I shouldn't laugh. Because they'll be getting married soon, you should remind them to make a bracha. How about reverse? Because they'll be getting married soon, they're way too old for you to remind them to make a bracha. A 3-year-old needs to be reminded to make a bracha. If a 30-year-old's not making brachas, they don't need to be reminded to make brachas. Look, guys, so many of this, so much of this, like so many of these questions, really is pashut simple emotional intelligence. And by the way, if you're out there and you're saying, but I do love my kid loves me, and I hug my kid, and we bond and we spend time together, and he's still not from, I'm going to tell you, you're awesome. Keep it up. Don't stop. Don't stop. Don't give up. Don't give up. And the most important thing is, don't listen to the naysayers who make you feel like a sucker, because they tell you to not enjoy your child, and then it takes one disapproving comment and you knock the kid off the rails for weeks, for months. Don't listen to those people. If you have a good relationship with your kid's still not from, don't stop. Keep it up. Keep it up. What if it's a spouse that's causing it? That's another story. I mean, this was about children who are off the derech, so to speak. I don't like that expression, but you're asking about adults. I'll just say a quick comment about that. Quick comment. I hope this will be understood. You know how I said there's nothing more powerful than the love of a parent to a child, and that a parent has a special ability to heal a child. Michlal hein shemei alav. That is unique to a parent-child relationship. And I do not believe that a spouse can do that for another spouse. I don't believe that if you would just have more unconditional love and unconditional pride, that can cure it. I think it's a different parsha, it's a different discussion. And I don't want to get off into that subject, but I see a lot of times a lot of self-denial that happens, a lot of people compromising their own dignity and their own safety for a spouse who is not able to live as a responsible adult. But that's not the topic tonight. Okay, the topic is parents and children. And let's stick with that topic. No matter how old your child is, a parent has a very special koyach, a unique koyach. Okay, let's continue. How is it fair that Hashem puts people in situations that existence is painful? How is it fair? I don't know. I don't know if it's fair. I don't know. You want me to tell you that in another Gilgul they did something? I don't know. But I do know that there are such people. Now, I can tell you, this doesn't make it fair, but I can tell you there is a bright side of it. I can tell you there's a silver lining. These extra sensitive people, these people for whom existence itself is painful, these are the most powerful people we have. These people who don't fit in anywhere, always feeling lonely in a crowded room, terminally unique, the sensitive souls, so powerful. And if we nurture them and support them, they become our healers. And they're the ones who are leading the charge to make our community and our world the way that it needs to be. So is that fair? Does it make it all right that Hashem makes some people so sensitive that existence is painful? I don't know if it's fair. I don't know if that makes it all right, but I will tell you that these same people who are so sensitive and have so much pain are the most powerful healers. And I want to tell you something. It's nobody's business what somebody's story is, but I promise you, anybody you know who you think really gets it, who's really compassionate, if they're not bluffing, and you'll find out after a while who's real and who's not real, I promise you that there's somebody who's been through pain and perhaps even is still going through pain, or maybe existence itself is painful for them. So is that fair? Does it make it all right? I don't know, but I do know that those who have pain end up being so powerful and having such a gift to share. You know, if we can stop being merachek, these sensitive souls, they can do so much for us. We need them. They're not the stragglers. They're not the weak link. They're supposed to be our leaders, and we kicked them out. They were supposed to be our gedolim, and we kicked them out. You don't know the great leaders that we were supposed to have. And we need to become more compassionate as a culture. I'm not here to figure out how it happened. Was it Holocaust trauma? It's not my business. I don't care how it happened. We as a culture, I'm talking about from people, need to become more loving and gentle toward each other. And stop crippling people with the constant, relentless pressure of being judged. It's just too much. It's strangling. Even the people who survive and are able to make it, quote unquote, make it, they also hate it. Enough. We have a whole culture that's acting like a junior high lunch table. I mean, it's such a chilul Hashem. It's certainly not Torah that told us to be this way. Just don't say this is Torah. Don't do this in the name of Torah. Let's finish here. But how do we communicate to our kids that their actions are not proper, like intermarriage? Should we not state that we love them, but yet we don't approve of their life choices? They know you don't approve, okay? They know you don't approve. On behalf of all Jewish people, thank you, okay? On behalf of me, thank you. Do I accept the guy my daughter is dating, invite him to our home against our will? Well, what do you mean accept him? First of all, he's not doing anything wrong. It's not his fault. He got wrapped up in it. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I will say that if you can show her love, even in this situation, even in the presence of that non-Jewish boyfriend, that love is so powerful and so healing that so good for the soul. I don't know why you wouldn't give it to your child. That's all I'll say about that. Okay. You are doing what not one rabbi is doing now. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. There are many rabbis who are doing this. I'm not the only one. It's not true. But I'm glad you think I'm, uniquely whatever. But okay, this may be your most heartfelt talk ever. Okay. Did you see all my talks? You think this is the most heartfelt? I think some others were more heartfelt. Who can judge what's heartfelt? Yes, but I do take the situation very seriously. And it's also a little bit of fatigue. I'm just tired. I'm just, if you see me getting emotional, I'm just worn down because it's like, I can't give your child the thing they need. Nobody can give your child the thing they need. The thing they need is you. They need you. They need you to be fully present. And again, I told you have to be a rebbe. You have to see their neshama and not get fooled or distracted. Not get pulled in by the chitzonius. I got 4 questions left. I thought I had no more tears, but the beauty of your words and true Avi Fishoff brings tears to my eyes. Keep up the good work, please. Okay. You know what? When somebody says, I thought I had no more tears, you know what that means. You know what to say. Talking about somebody who cried a lot. Okay, but hopefully these are different tears. This is not tears of pain. This is tears of hearing truth. And look, I want to make it clear here. My words moved you to tears. Great. It's not like I'm so smart or so special. This is Pashut. I'm just saying. That's it. Okay? Doesn't take a genius to say this. Okay? Maybe I'm an idiot for saying it. I don't know. I don't know what the fallout will be for saying that. I don't know who's going to judge this. Everyone judges. You know what? It's pikuach nefesh. There are children dying. And we can't afford to be part of the problem anymore. I cannot afford to be part of the problem. I have a platform. Okay, I'm using my platform this way. You use your platform this way. Everyone has a platform. You daven in a shul, you sit at a table. There are other people who sit with you. Okay, so model compassion for them. Model compassion for them. We need to change our culture. This is the most powerful webinar. Thank you. I've grown children, and thank God you gave me this advice. You gave me this advice 2 years ago. Oh, okay, wow. Okay, you gave me this advice 2 years ago when my son came home with a non-Jewish girl. We do have a great relationship. It was a long, sad journey, but my family argues that he doesn't think it even bothers us because we allow them to come to our home, and we're so accepting. It's a tough call because I do forget to be upset sometimes. Oh, you're such a terrible person. Sometimes you forget to be upset. Look, we all know intermarriage is a tragedy. We all know Chilul Shabbos is a tragedy. We all know that eating before Ma'ariv is a tragedy. Anyone who's over under Tzeinei Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, even a diktuk kal shel divrei sofrim, it's a tragedy. These are tragedies. Someone's mevatel Talmud Torah for 1 minute. It's a tragedy. But what do you want us to do? Go around being in pain every second from the Avedas that we're all doing? So we're all in pain, and nobody can give you the one smile that you need to give you a path back home. So yeah, I think about real tzaddikim, who were more sensitive to this stuff than we are. And trust me, when they saw a Yid who had a smell of Avedas on him, it was more repulsive to them than we can imagine. And yet, they were not merachik, they were makarev. Yeah, Yiddishkeit is serious, halacha is serious. Yeah, we want every Yid to be nizar and taryag mitzvahs and all the halachas, midarabanan, and minhagim, and of course. But if you want to be from like Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu said, "Mechaini no mesifrecha." I put my people first. And that's coming from Moshe. Nobody cares about Torah more than Moshe, for whom the whole Torah is called Torah's Moshe. You want to be from, be truly from. Thank you for this life-changing shiur. Okay? You're welcome. If so, it's comforting to know that probably Rabbi Shais himself has been through pain, has become so amazingly wise and passionate, etc. Yeah. Thank you. That was very sweet of you. Thank you for thinking about me. I appreciate it. That's nice once in a while. Somebody actually thinks about me. I'm telling you, it feels good. Thank you. That gives me CHIZUK. It really does. Thank you. Okay. We're on the now. I have 36 comments. I can't read the comments. I'm hoping all of you saw the comments because the comments were visible to everyone. And if you're watching this on replay, I know you can't see the comments. What can I do? Anyways, I'm taking the last question. Maybe it's just a comment and I won't have to answer anything. It's going to take a lot for the parents that were brought up by the previous generation to make real changes. These are hardwired in, and it leaves a lot of people speechless as to where to start, but the awareness of this talk is a great start. Okay, so that was Baruch Hashem, more of a comment than a question, so I don't really have to answer it. Okay, this is 2 hours, over 2 hours. I want to stop now, and I want to thank you all for being here. You can do it. You can do it. If you're a parent, the Eibishter has given you a special koyach. You are Hashem's partner. There are 3 partners in a person: the mother, the father, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Hashem brought you in as a partner. A partner means you have full access to all of Hashem's resources. So that's it. You have infinite godly koyach. You can do it. And I know when it breaks your heart and you just feel that pain and you want to push the child away out of the sense of your own self-protection. I know. You have to overcome it. You have to overcome that and be makarev. Be makarev. And you can do it. I know it's superhuman, but you can do it. The Eibishter is with you. The Eibishter is giving you koyach.